morning and welcome to year number 3 of Pitt to the Point. I'm Donnie Blackwell.
And I'm Erin Clark. Pitt to the Point is your Emmy Award-nominated weekly 1-hour news and magazine program that airs live from the state-of-the-art Pitt Studios. And take a look at this image behind us because this might be the last time you see a scene like this here. More on that later.
Pitt to the Point covers everything from the University of Pittsburgh to the City of Pittsburgh, as well as national and international events, news, people, and stories.
We're back with your favorite segments as well as new features, including weekly live reports about all of our incredible University of Pittsburgh regional campuses.
We also have a new segment called Crossing Over at Pitt. It showcases how different departments and schools at Pitt collaborate on the most innovative teaching in the country.
And we'll be joined live by our affiliate college and high school partners and their student anchors who will tell you what's going on in their schools and their communities.
And of course, we'll continue to bring you the most up-to-date news from the world of politics, sports, medicine, and entertainment in the city of Pittsburgh and at the University of Pittsburgh.
And since we're back for a third year, what better day to begin our first show than Groundhog Day?
Earlier this week, around midnight on Tuesday, SWAT teams responded to a report of an armed man on Halkett Street near McGee Women's Hospital and the Skyview Apartments.
The Pitt police were the first to arrive to investigate the threat, followed by the SWAT team, but nothing was found on the scene. According to witnesses, no one was allowed in or out of the building for about 2 hours.
Earlier that same day, the university had tested their emergency alert system.
Despite the test, 12 hours later, the incident occurred with no ENS alert. For more on the issues with communication from Pitt during these emergencies, we turn to our Pitt beat reporter, Simon Krasner. Simon?
Police were called to come investigate a suspicious man roaming the parking garage at McGee Women's Hospital at 11:30 on January 30th. Reports said that there was a man possibly carrying a rifle walking around the parking garage for unknown reasons. Skyview apartment buildings were searched as well as other parking garages in the area, and the SWAT team was even called to help search. Eventually, they concluded the search with nobody being found, which was good news, but the bad news was that Pitt failed to send out ENS alerts to students despite there being a test that morning in the Cathedral of Learning. Here's an interview with Michael Bruni, a Pitt student who lives in Skyview.
I was coming back from my good friend Jake Golden's house, late doing some homework. I'm driving back, pulling into the garage, and I see 3 cops crouching with their rifles out. And I was like, wow, that's pretty intense. And I asked them what was going on, and they said there's an active shooter in the building, and then I could not go in. Not really active shooter, but guy with a gun. There was a threat with a guy with a gun in the building. I gave them my fobs to get in because they couldn't get in. So Pitt police showed up first, and then I guess a couple minutes later, the entire Pittsburgh police and SWAT team showed up. I would have liked to know that what was going on. I feel like even people in the building, I know some friends that were in the building didn't even know what was going on until they heard all the sirens and saw the police and SWAT team outside. You weren't allowed to go out of your rooms, and the cops cleared every floor, and then eventually didn't find a threat, so we were allowed back in. I was allowed back in. I told them exactly, but 2 girls I'm friends with tried to walk out. They were walking out, and some cops. They came down to the mail room actually, and some policemen said you guys got to go back up, so they escorted them back up. I feel like my safety really wasn't in their best interest. I'd like to know if my safety could be compromised, and I feel like every student wants to know if there's danger in the area.
There have been other shooting threats in the area of Oakland in the past year, such as Hillman Library and Central Catholic High School. Even though these were hoaxes, it is still very scary for students and residents who live in the area, especially knowing the fact that Pitt failed to send out ENS alerts to students the morning before the threat. We've reached out to Pitt police to ask about there being no ENS alerts provided to students, but at that time they had no comment. We're very lucky this was also a hoax, and whatever happened with the ENS alert, Pitt needs to fix it. With there being lots of gun violence in America, this is just one of the many threats that we've endured, and there must be a change for Pitt as well as all around the country. The police need to make sure that everybody is notified whenever there's a serious alert or concern like this. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt Beat reporter Simon Krasner. Donnie, Aaron.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visited Pittsburgh last Friday, January 26th.
He came to announce the $142 million in federal funding towards the City of Pittsburgh.
The investment will be used to improve infrastructure on the I-376 Parkway East corridor, one of the oldest urban interstates in the U.S. As Pitt students, we use the Pittsburgh Regional Transit System constantly to explore the city and neighborhoods of Pittsburgh.
So true. I love hopping on the 71C to head to Bakery Square.
Our City Beat reporter, Haley Ryman, has an update on the proposed bus rapid transit project. Haley?
Thank you, Aaron. Pittsburgh's Regional Transit Bus Project has been up in the air for a while now. Complaints about construction impacting commute and travel time are not uncommon for Pittsburgh students and Pittsburgh residents. The project has been in the works for over a decade and aims to make the Pittsburgh public transport system safer and more convenient. I had the chance to speak to the Pittsburgh Regional Transit spokesperson, Adam Brandoff, about the status of the project.
It's a big project that has been going on for more than a decade, and we are super excited to just get it off the ground. Construction started this year, a couple months ago. We've done all the analyses. We know that it was going to have a huge impact. It's a big project. There have been a lot of bus routes that have been impacted as well. We've had some route changes in anticipation of the construction in order to sort of get out of our own way because we anticipated the construction would cause traffic delays and backups. So we moved a lot of service off of the normal routes. So between downtown and Oakland, there's going to be high-speed, fast connections with direct transit lines. All the buses will be in their own lane. And so we'll give people the ability to take a bus, hop off, go get a coffee, a sandwich, visit a business, somewhere in between, hop back on and complete their trip. In addition to that, so there's going to be increase in safety. So there's also bike lanes throughout most of the corridor. And then all the BRT stations throughout the entire corridor will be upgraded with new amenities, new bus shelters, things like that.
This project is expected to finish after 2025, and while increased travel and commute times may remain for the foreseeable future, once completed, this project will have long-lasting benefits for the Pittsburgh transportation system. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Beat reporter Haley Ryman. Donnie, Aaron, back to you.
Thanks, Haley. Earlier this week, Allegheny County Police was alerted through social media posts of a missing 22-year-old woman from Morgantown, West Virginia. Her name is Taylor Myres. Taylor was last seen at the Pittsburgh International Airport Sunday, January 28th at 4:33 p.m.
She is a senior at West Virginia University, and the police report was filed for possible trafficking. Taylor's updates were shared after several reposts via Facebook and X, with possible sightings in Florida, south of Tampa.
It was then released that Taylor was found safely on Tuesday, January 30th. Taylor's parents thanked everybody for resharing the post that helped bring Taylor back home.
They said, "Your kindness, strength, and unwavering hope were a beacon in the darkest hours."
Governor Shapiro is taking steps forward to fixing the higher education system in the state of Pennsylvania, which is amongst the lowest in the nation for affordability.
This hasn't been changed for the last 15 years. We turn our questions to our political reporter, Natalie Silberman, for more. Natalie?
On Tuesday, Governor Josh Shapiro proposed a $1,000 per semester tuition gap on all Pennsylvania state-owned universities. This decision comes after PA has continually ranked as one of the worst in higher ed in affordability. Governor Josh Shapiro proposed steps towards fixing a higher education system that's among the worst in the nation in affordability. Shapiro plans to do this by asking for a $1,000 cap on tuition per semester for families earning up to $70,000. He also calls for a $1,000 increase to the Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency grants that can be used at state-related and independent colleges. The plan would also coordinate state-owned university degree programs with community colleges, as every Pennsylvanian deserves freedom to start their course and opportunity to succeed, as Shapiro put it. This proposal is a part of the governor's reorganization of PASH, which includes most state-owned universities. The initiative, according to Shapiro, will focus on competitiveness, workforce development, access, and affordability. The state's university system has been underfunded for the past 3 decades. This cap is a bold start and hopefully just the beginning for Pennsylvania. With Pitt to the Point, I'm political reporter Natalie Silberman.
Thanks, Natalie. When we return, we will see what banks are shutting down branches in our area and how this will affect users.
Also, we are jumping back into one of our features from the Pitt News team with updates on a young basketball starter proving himself, as well as a new display at Phipps Botanical Garden.
Plus, have you ever struggled with seasonal depression? We're covering all this and more. Stay tuned.
Is officially back and in the books.
Stefanski just shoots and she scores. They're the winningest team in Pittsburgh history.
Ball sent in, Sullivan, Pittsburgh, 1-0.
Great strike, Michael Sullivan.
Pittsburgh has a share of the ACC title in 2022.
The record set by Tony Dorsett has been broken by Israel Abanikanda here.
The Pitt Panthers are going into the next round for the first time in program history.
We are the University of Pittsburgh, forged in a blue-collar city with gold standards, where innovators, researchers, thinkers, and healers are always reaching for new heights. There is no limit to what we can accomplish when we put our minds, our hands, our soul, and spirit toward it. Here, progress is always in progress. Hail to Pitt, proud partner of the ACC. We are the University of Pittsburgh, forged in a blue-collar city with gold standards, where innovators, researchers, thinkers, and healers are always reaching for new heights. There is no limit to what we can accomplish when we put our minds, our hands, our soul, and spirit toward it. Here, progress is always in progress. Hail to Pitt, proud partner of the ACC.
Thanks for tuning back in to Pitt to the Point. Have you watched a story today that piques your curiosity? Want to find out more about what's going on in Pittsburgh? Then visit our website.
That's right. If you want to find out more about the world of politics, medicine, business, and technology, log on to pittothepoint.com. Not only can you see clips from today's show, but you can also read about the topics that interest you and go to all of our social media. Check it out at pittothepoint.com.
You can also check us out on our other social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and you've guessed it, Facebook.
They're all under the name Pitt to the Point. You'll see your favorite anchor duo on there for the next 3 weeks, as well as behind the scenes footage from our crew.
PNC Bank is shutting down several branches in multiple states, including 3 locations here in Pittsburgh. The branches are set to be closed by February 19th.
To hear more on how this will affect users, we turn to our business and tech reporter, Kayla Pattison. Kayla?
PNC Bank clients are demanding more of a shift to online banking, forcing PNC Bank to make hasty cuts to their branches nationwide. Just last year, PNC Bank has shut down 239 locations and have already planned for 19 more this year, 3 of which in Pittsburgh. Locations on Center Avenue, Liberty Avenue, and Bakery Square Boulevard, as the new location on St. Clair Street will replace them.
All banks are close in proximity, as the bank on Center is the closest at only 0.3 of a mile away from the new state-of-the-art branch on Clair Street next to Whole Foods. I got to hear a perspective on these changes from a former PNC employee and current account holder.
They don't really affect me particularly. I'm not like a huge in-bank person. Most of the stuff I do through the ATM. If I ever really do need to go into a bank, it's mostly for like a new debit card or just like a casual interaction because of some suspicious activity or something on my account. Most of the time I can handle that through customer service on the phone.
The only flaw is losing the accessibility to an ATM that banks provide and the reason for most of their foot traffic.
I used to work at one of the banks that is closing, and a big thing that was an issue was people from different neighborhoods had to congest into that one bank just because it was close to them, that everywhere had to come in for that one resource.
With these PNC branch closures, there is concern of congestion at the on-campus location, limiting students' options of banking, and we were able to talk to a student voicing her concerns.
I feel like it pulls away from a lot of what students wanted out of a bank being accessible on and off campus, so then if they reduce branches, there's nothing really making them choose PNC over other things. The best part of it was that it was accessible.
Cutting 3 PNC branches to be confined to one off-campus bank leaves less options of convenience for students to bank around town.
All in all, these PNC Bank closures will be felt by student PNC Bank users by the increase of congestion and decrease of accessibility, even though the intention was to encourage online banking. If you're a PNC Bank user, make sure to pay attention to any possible PNC Bank closures in your area. For Pitt to the Point business and technology reporter, I'm Kayla Pattison. Donnie, Erin.
Thank you, Kayla. One of our very own organizations here on campus, the Pitt News, has been providing the student body and community with accurate and timely news since 1910. And we are lucky enough to have them featured right here on Pitt to the Point.
This week, we are taking a look at their latest headlines from the world of basketball to theater. This is Pitt News on Pitt to the Point.
Jalen Lowe is making the most of his promotion to the starting lineup. Lowe faced challenges at the beginning of his Pitt career with overcoming injury, roster turnover, and adjusting to college. But this promotion to the starting lineup signifies a notable transformation. Stage crews make productions possible at Pitt Stages. Pitt Stages offers a creative and technical outlet for students who want to work behind the scenes on theater productions. Audio engineering, lighting, and camera work are to name a few of the many important jobs that make Pitt's theater productions run smoothly.
I think it's really important to highlight what goes on behind the scenes for each production, because when you go to a performance and you see everything up front, like on the stage and all the actors and stuff, but there's a lot of hard work and planning that goes into whether it be like stage crew, lighting, or sound. A lot of skill and hard work goes into that. So I think it's really important that the people that work really hard for it get the recognition that they deserve.
Garden Railroad Display delights visitors young and old at Phipps. Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens displays their annual Garden Railroad exhibit. This year's theme, Through the Four Seasons, showcases scenic routes from spring to winter and takes guests through Pennsylvania-centered attractions with Pittsburgh-themed hidden gems. The displays have been a part of Phipps for 24 years and brings train lovers of all ages to the conservatory.
Well, the winter season is in full swing here in Pittsburgh with single-digit temps and even some snow.
The weather has been affecting more than just our outfit choices. It's also been taking a toll on how many students' mental health. For more on this, we turn to our Medical Minute reporter, Morgan Wilfong. Morgan?
Thank you. It's that time of year again where seasonal depression is at its peak. The amount of daylight per day is decreasing, and students are feeling the effects of that. Here at the University of Pittsburgh, the Stress-Free Zone works with students that struggle with seasonal depression.
Stress-Free Zone is a space on the 3rd floor of the William Pitt Union that's really meant to have students take a purposeful break and practice mind-body stress reduction skills. We mainly do this through mindfulness meditation, which is a non-judgmental form of observing your present moment. We hope that students will take 15, maybe 30 minutes out of their day to just take a purposeful break, to put your phone down, to stop scrolling, relax your body, and to relax your mind. We get like 10% of sunshine, I think, between January and March. So that's going to have a big effect to it. Plus, you know, just being the time of year that it is, that our actual hours of daylight is less. So we're just lacking that vitamin D. But because of that, to help students with seasonal affective disorder or anything, in addition to our relaxation sessions and the yoga classes that we offer, we also do have a daylight lamp to help specifically with seasonal affective disorder. We've paired really well with the University Counseling Center and with Campus Recreation to offer a group of classes coined Natural Connections, where in addition to how the lamp might help or how this mindfulness meditation will help, just being outside and kind of foster the elements, even if it's a little bit colder than we want to be, or in some way, like how can we move our bodies, how can we breathe, how can we connect with nature, that's also really helpful for this time of year. Set yourself up as this being part of your routine kind of before it gets a little bit too late. It's still helpful, but it's more helpful the earlier you start.
These winter months can be hard for students, but resources like the Stress-Free Zone can help put their mind in the right set. For more information and other resources about the Stress-Free Zone, check out Pitt's website. For Pitt to the Point, I'm medical reporter Morgan Wilfong. Donnie, Aaron?
Thanks, Morgan. Don't move, because when we get back, we are moving east to hear from our students over at Lancaster Catholic and what's making the headlines at their high school.
Also, be sure to stick around for our feature on a Pitt alumni who brings creativity into his classroom. And if you haven't heard, today is quite the holiday over in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
That's right. Today is Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil has come out of his home to make his prediction for the upcoming year.
What do you think, Donnie? An early spring or more winter weather? Find out when we come back.
Got any plans this weekend?
We are the University of Pittsburgh, forged in a blue-collar city with gold standards, where innovators, researchers, thinkers, and healers are always reaching for new heights. There is no limit to what we can accomplish when we put our minds, our hands, our soul and spirit toward it. Here, progress is always in progress. Hail to Pitt, proud partner of the ACC.
They come here, forged in the spirit of change, pushing to answer the questions, and then questioning the answers, embracing each challenge as fuel for reinventing the world. Because here, leadership, courage, creativity, innovation, and progress are always in progress. The University of Pittsburgh.
So one inventive tool that the University of Pittsburgh has is Pitt Funds Me. So Pitt Funds Me is for outside scholarships that you can review and apply for as well. There's 8,000 plus scholarships on that website. These scholarships have been vetted as good and reliable resources, so you can guarantee that these are not resources that are trying to steal money or trying to scam you in any way. Any student has access to this, even admitted students who have not deposited yet. When you go into your my.pitt.edu, you'll want to search in the Ask Kathy box, Pitt Funds Me, and make sure instead of an S in Pitt Funds Me, you're going to put a $sign. That will allow you to go into the portal to be able to look at all the outside scholarship opportunities that fit your specific profile. They will ask several questions. You do not have to answer all questions or any questions if you don't want to, but the more questions you answer, the more opportunities that become available to you to apply.
Got any plans this weekend? Well, here's what the weather is looking like.
For February, I have to say it's going to be pretty nice out.
I agree. I think I'll have to put on my winter coat.
There's going to be highs in the low 40s today and tomorrow with lows of 28 degrees.
And Sunday will be even warmer. Sunny conditions with a high of 50 and a low of 29 degrees. It's time to shine some light on some of our incredible alumni. Director of Diversity and Inclusion at South Fayette Township School District, Dr. Charles Herring emphasizes how important it is to have a creative atmosphere in the classroom.
With his idea of Grammar Man, a superhero who uses hip-hop to teach proper speech to young students, Dr. Herring is making a difference where it counts.
Chuck Herring, the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging at the South Fayette Township School District. This position that I'm in now, Director of DEIB, came about because we just felt like there was a need. I saw a need, some others in the district saw a need, and we created it. And it's really, most people think that DEIB is about race, and I mean, partially, but it's a really small thing. It's not even big at all. It's like if it's a pie and there's 12 slices in the pie, it's one of the slices where the kids have a certain set of skills and knowledge and you have a certain set of skills and knowledge and you're trying to impart that upon them, but you have to allow them to impart their knowledge on you in order to build that relationship where they're teaching you and you're teaching them, and that synergy really helps to be able to cultivate a space where kids want to learn and you want to be there. Because the one thing that we know is that anxiety is at its highest when knowledge is at its lowest. And so the reason why so many people have challenges with other cultures is that they don't know much about them. So we do a lot of things in education, because if you know more, then you don't have to be fearful.
It's time for one of our favorite segments here at Pitt to the Point, College and High School. Each week, we will be touching base with up-and-coming broadcasters at different high schools to hear the latest updates in their areas.
This week, we are checking in with the Crusaders at Lancaster Catholic. Let's take a look as they share with us an exciting project that is underway at their school.
Lancaster Catholic, what do you got going on over there?
Good morning, I'm Gemma Navikas.
And I'm Danielle Monson, and we're students here at Lancaster Catholic High School in Lancaster, PA.
This year has been a little challenging for us at school because of all the construction going on to build our new cafeteria.
That's right. So far this year, we've had to eat lunch in our old gym while going downstairs through the kitchen to buy lunch first.
It can be distracting with all of the noise and disruptions from the construction, but we know it will be worth it in the end. Here's a glimpse into the progress of the construction team that they have made so far.
We saw the early stages of the new LCHS cafeteria just to see how everything's going so far and learn a little bit about how the space is going to be used when it's finally complete.
So this whole area can be used as a cafeteria. It can also be separated. It's more like a food court. This is another area that will transform the feel of the space to be more modern and to be like a college student commons, which is what we designed it based on.
After our walkthrough, our next priority was getting our interview with former LCHS student and Warfield representative Nick Pisano.
We're very excited for you guys to be able to enjoy this space. I know it's been uncomfortable here these past couple months, but we're hoping to turn over a beautiful space where you guys can all come together.
It was really cool to see how everything's going so far, and I'm really excited to see the finished product. For the LCHS Morning Show, I'm Grant Hall.
Thanks, Grant, for showing us the progress made on our new cafeteria. I can't wait for it to be finished.
Me too. It's going to be a great addition to our school. Back to you guys.
So Gemma and Danielle, what are you guys most excited for in the new cafeteria?
I would have to say I'm most excited to not have to walk so far to get our lunch. And I'm also excited to have some natural light because we don't have any windows right now.
Tell us, how has the construction impacted your lunch break experience so far this year?
I would say it's impacted us by feeling a little rushed. Not only are we rushed with time to eat in the cafeteria, but we're also rushed to have time to get our lunch as well. And going off of that, I would say that the lunch line can become pretty lengthy. Like you can be in that line for 10 minutes. So it's just super annoying.
Oh, wow. I definitely can relate with all the construction here on our campus.
Yeah, thank you guys. We look forward to seeing your new cafeteria.
Thank you guys.
Each week, we will be checking in with one of our regional campuses. Just last weekend, Pitt Johnstown hosted their Winter Fest for family and friends. They invited over 1,000 alumni and 2 jam-packed days of events.
From basketball games to barbecue and brews, our regional campus reporter, Lily Peters, has more insight on all the fun that took place at this event. Lily?
Thank you, Erin. Now, despite it being a dreary winter outside, Pitt Johnstown had its community covered last weekend. The campus held its annual Winter Fest, which included an entire weekend full of fun activity. The campus invited alumni and community members to help bring people on to their beautiful campus, which it worked. It seemed like the entire town was at Winterfest. Take a look. This weekend, Pitt Johnstown opened its doors to alumni and the community for their Winterfest. The festivities included a gym full of inflatables, open swim for children in their aquatic center, a doubleheader in women's and men's basketball, and a bonfire to end the evening. Event coordinator Abby Gearhart has more.
When I was thinking about things, how to draw alumni back and also bring community on our campus, I was like, what would be an awesome thing to do is have like a weekend where we can invite families to come to our campus for free, alumni to come back and watch our games. So I always try to pick when we have like a wrestling match on a Friday night and then a basketball doubleheader on a Saturday. So we just like to have people come back on our campus.
This was the first year there was a bonfire at Winterfest. Abby gives more details on the fire.
So actually just right out in our parking lot, just a couple steps away, we're gonna have a bonfire. Our Baja Club actually built the bonfire and we're gonna light it and just have the community come out. I mean, that's just like the thing that we do out in Johnstown. We love bonfires.
Pitt Johnstown's Winterfest brought out the entire community.
I think this event is really good to involve the entire community because we plan it around like our sporting events, so people that can come and they see that this is happening and then maybe they want to stay to watch the basketball game or the wrestling meet that was happening, so that's super cool.
Seeing this event means a lot because it shows that they're really trying to make an effort to make sure everyone stays connected and make sure we can keep building this alumni network.
Some of my former players are here and it's always great to see them, and all my kids have kids, and to have events like they have in the fitness center and whatever is just terrific.
I love seeing people authentically having like a good time. I love connecting with community. I love when I see community connecting, and I think our campus is gorgeous, so I just love getting people up here.
Now, although Winterfest has now ended, Pitt Johnstown, the fun will still continue there. If you want to get involved with more events like this, visit Pitt Johnstown's website to see all of the upcoming events they have in store. From Pitt to the Point, I'm regional campus reporter Lily Peters. Erin, Donnie.
Thanks, Lily. We are so excited to announce a new segment here on Pitt to the Point. Crossing Over at Pitt focuses on highlighting projects at Pitt that cross over different departments.
As it is the year of discourse and dialogue here at the University of Pittsburgh, we can't wait to tell you all about the impressive works throughout campus.
We're crossing into the world of art this week as a student collaborated with 2 faculty members to create beautiful artwork inspired by the heavens.
This year, the University of Pittsburgh's designated theme is Discourse and Dialogue. This initiative encourages an inclusive and diverse academic community with aims to create an environment where members can actively listen, challenge biases, and seek the common good. University of Pittsburgh pre-med student Yasmin Gari was inspired by recent photographs from a NASA telescope that encompassed a galaxy commonly known as Pandora's Cluster. Working alongside Yasmin Gari were Lenore Thomas, her artistic advisor, and Rachel Bazanson, a physics and astronomy researcher and professor here at the University of Pittsburgh. They collaborated together, making a beautiful piece of artwork encompassing Pandora's cluster. In order to create this beautiful piece of art, they utilized intaglio printmaking and suspended each printing from an acrylic sheet to create a hanging sculpture which mimics a mobile that could be found hanging in a baby's nursery. Through the artistic interpretation of a physical phenomena, the University of Pittsburgh's Department of Physics and Astronomy said, quote, "Her art encourages consideration of the vastness of the universe and invokes an unsettling feeling of sublime awe." Quote.
When we get back, we'll have all the latest news from the world of sports, from the Panthers gymnastics team to the Pitt football players showcasing their skills in the East-West Shrine Bowl.
I think me and Donnie could talk about sports all day long, so I know we're excited. You should be too.
They come here, forged in the spirit of change, pushing to answer the questions, and then questioning the answers, embracing each challenge as fuel for reinventing the world. Because here, leadership, courage, creativity, innovation, and progress are always in progress. The University of Pittsburgh, forward.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. We're here in the Cathedral of Learning. Imagine being here in the Commons Room or Nationality Room.
What do you think?
So what do you think? Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt. Proud member of the ACC.
Is officially back and in the books.
Stefanski just shoots and he scores. They're the winningest team in Pittsburgh history.
Ball sent in, Sullivan, Pittsburgh 1-0.
Great strike, Michael Sullivan.
Pittsburgh has a share of the ACC title in 2022.
The record set by Tony Dorsett has been broken by Israel Abanikanda here.
The Pitt Panthers are going into the next round for the first time in program history.
Pitt sports is continuing to make a name for themselves in the ACC, with the women's gymnastics team hiring a new coach. The team searches for success as they finally join the ACC conference.
In other sports news, Pitt football had 4 players showcase their talents at the pre-draft scouting process called the East-West Shrine Bowl, with hopes of hearing their name called in April. Our Pitt sports reporter, Risa Campbell, has more.
Thanks, Donnie and Aaron. For the first time in Pitt gymnastics history, the Panthers have officially entered the ACC, with gymnastics becoming the conference's 28th sponsored sport. The Panthers will be competing under guidance of new head coach Casey Joe McPherson, but already has a solid foundation as one major returner, Hallie Copperwheat, has led the Panthers to success in previous seasons. Let's take a look on how the two plan to bring the Panthers up the ladder in their new competitive conference.
Having the ACC conference for gymnastics is really exciting for our student athletes. I think, there are so many fans of ACC athletics and ACC sports, but they didn't have gymnastics in the conference before. So I think it's going to be really cool to see that fan base grow just from a support of the sport itself.
We've obviously seen a really exciting shift in the program this year. We've obviously gone into the ACC. We've got a full new staff. But it's been really fun to get to work with these new coaches. And really just get to find a vision for Pitt Gymnastics. One of our freshmen this year, Emily Todd, she was the first ACC Freshman of the Week, which is really cool. Being part of the ACC means so much to me and all the girls. We get to see all of the rewards come in for the other athletic programs here, and I think it's just really nice that we're now part of that recognizable conference.
It's going to make our student athletes and our program more competitive because all the programs in the conference want to get better.
I mean, the new exposure we're getting as being part of the ACC is amazing, and I know we're all really excited for the opportunity to carry that on.
The Panthers return home to their very first ACC matchup against North Carolina tonight at 7 p.m. in the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. In other news, the 99th edition of the East-West Shrine Bowl aired last night. The college football all-star game featuring the best draft-eligible prospects and, for the first time in 2024, underclassmen. 4 Pitt players have been given the opportunity to compete in the main launching point for legendary NFL careers. The coaches were New York Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka and the Chicago Bears special teams coordinator Richard Hightower. MJ Devonshire, Bub Means, AJ Woods, and Matt Goncalves are the 4 Pitt players who had the honor of being a part of the game last night. Through Pitt to the Point alumni Nick Farbaugh, we had the honor of hearing MJ Devonshire's thoughts before the game on Thursday.
I learned at a young age that it was like the more you can control and win at the line of scrimmage, the better you'll be in the whole aspect of route running for receivers. They talked to us a lot about just learning and using the basic football knowledge that they give us and applying it to what they're teaching us. Obviously special to play in any NFL organization, but to be at home, yeah, all my family's Steelers fans, and my granddad was a Steelers fan, so being able to play for the Steelers and knowing how many people would be so excited, that would be cool.
MJ Devonshire, AJ Woods, and Bub Means declared for the 2024 NFL Draft, as well as a chance to play in the NFL Combine. And Matt Goncalves is working on taking his next step on the road to an NFL career after last night's tournament. From Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt sports reporter Risa Campbell. And now we turn live to Acrisure Stadium for our city sports reporter, Megan O'Connell. Megan?
Thanks, Risa. Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills safety and Pitt Panther alum, was recently recognized by the Professional Football Writers of America with the Comeback Player of the Year award. Hamlin prevailed over the near-tragic event that shocked the sports world and rallied support from fans and players across the league. On January 2nd, 2023, the safety's heart-stopping injury during a nationally televised game against the Cincinnati Bengals left him in critical condition. After a remarkable recovery that included intense rehabilitation, Hamlin made a triumphant return to the field for the 2024 season, emerging not just as a symbol of perseverance, but also as a top performer for his position. Hamlin's return to professional football just less than a year after his life-threatening event embodies the true spirit of the award. Congratulations, Damar, and hail to Pitt. The Pittsburgh Steelers just announced the hiring of Arthur Smith as their new offensive coordinator, following an extensive search that included several noteworthy candidates. Smith will be taking over for Matt Canada, who was recently let go by the organization. Before settling on Smith, the Steelers evaluated a diverse group of candidates, such as Clint Kubiak and Cliff Kingsbury. The new hiring has sparked discussions about the future of the team's roster, specifically concerning running back Najee Harris. Harris, who has shown a slow in performance compared to earlier seasons, is now being contrasted with the rise of his peer, Jaylen Warren. With the AFC North's competitive landscape, the Steelers are perceived to be lagging behind in roster strength. The situation places additional pressure on head coach Mike Tomlin, whose tenure with the team, but continues to face scrutiny from fans eager for success.
Yes, I expect to be back, and I would imagine that those contract things are going to run their course, man. Art and I have a really good, transparent relationship. We communicate continually, often. I don't imagine it's going to be an issue, and I imagine it's going to get done in a timely manner at the appropriate time. But, you know, my mindset is to coach this football team, certainly.
From Acrisure Stadium, I'm City Sports reporter Megan O'Connell. Donnie, Erin.
Sports to arts, Pitt has something for everyone to get involved in here.
That is right. With over 700 clubs and organizations on campus, it's hard to pick just one to highlight every week.
I agree, Erin. And this club we have today is something that I may need to take a look into.
As a fashion lover, I love everything this club is about. The Her Campus Club is an online magazine for college women by college women. Let's take a look at their cover.
It's a national organization, chapters at individual schools, college women writing articles that are supposed to be for other college women, so it's supposed to be girl-friendly space. It gives us a lot of freedom. The way it works is that when we have meetings, people pitch ideas, and then you can claim the ideas you want to write it, and then you write it, and then you put it on the website and you save it for reviews, so that then the editor can go back and review it and check the grammar and stuff. After they do that, the president goes in, checks it again, and edits it, and it gets scheduled for publishing for the next week. So it's a pretty fast process, but there is a very definitive goal to it.
It's exciting to have people come pitch their ideas and learn about the different things that people are into. I was initially really hesitant. It was the first club I was going to be ahead of, and it was only my freshman year, so I wasn't really sure what I was doing, but Lauren, our president, was a member of the club, and she was like, this is so fun, you should come.
After I joined last semester, I really fell in love with the club. It was something that I really enjoyed going to every week, getting to interact with all the people who are in it. But all of our members from last year were graduating because they were seniors, and I really wanted to see the club continue. So I'm really super confident in my ability to run the club since I was just a freshman. I feel like we've really come together really well as a club this year. And we've really started to build the club back up into a bigger group of people who are getting to hang out and work together.
Thanks for sticking around on our very first week back on Pitt to the Point. I don't know about you, Donnie, but I'm already having so much fun. And don't worry, we still have some exciting stories to cover.
After the break, see how a historic museum in the North Shore is getting a new name after a big donation.
And find out more about the people that play a big role in executing the events and traditions leading up to and right after Groundhog Day. All this and more right here on Pitt to the Point.
We are the University of Pittsburgh, forged in a blue-collar city with gold standards, where innovators, researchers, thinkers, and healers are always reaching for new heights. There is no limit to what we can accomplish when we put our minds, our hands, our soul and spirit toward it. Here, progress is always in progress. Hail to Pitt. Proud partner.
Is officially back and in the books.
Stefanski just shoots and he scores. They're the winningest team in Pittsburgh history.
Ball sent in, Sullivan, Pittsburgh, 1-0.
Great strike, Michael Sullivan.
Pittsburgh has a share of the ACC title in 2022.
The record set by Tony Dorsett has been broken by Israel Abanikanda here.
The Pitt Panthers are going into the next round for the first time in program history.
So one inventive tool that the University of Pittsburgh has is Pitt Funds Me. So Pitt Funds Me is for outside scholarships that you can review and apply for as well. There's 8,000 plus scholarships on that website. These scholarships have been vetted as good and reliable resources, so you can guarantee that these are not resources that are trying to steal money or trying to scam you in any way. Any student has access to this, even admitted students who have not deposited yet. When you go into your my.pitt.edu, you'll want to search in the Ask Kathy box, Pitt Funds Me, and make sure instead of an S in Pitt Funds Me, you're going to put a $sign. That will allow you to go into the portal to be able to look at all the outside scholarship opportunities that fit your specific profile. They will ask several questions. You do not have to answer all questions or any questions if you don't want to, but the more questions you answer, the more opportunities that become available to you to apply.
If you want to find out more about the world of politics, medicine, business, and technology, and more, log on to our website, pittothepoint.com.
You can read about the topics that interest you, and you can go to our social media. You'll love the photos. Check it out at pittothepoint.com.
I know you guys are probably scrolling right now, so make sure you stop by and check out all of our social media pages.
For a university show, I think we have every platform covered. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and X.
Oh, and don't forget Facebook at Pitt to the Point. For years, the Carnegie Science Center in the North Shore has been educating and inspiring young children all about the world of science.
It's the city of Pittsburgh's best attraction and the most visited museum with the floors of interactive exhibits.
I have to tell you, Donnie, I visited the Science Center with one of the organizations I'm involved with on campus, and it was so much fun. I got to see the inside of a submarine and sit in on an earthquake simulator.
That sounds super cool. Although the museum will still have all of its fun features, it will no longer be known as the Carnegie Science Center.
That's right. The Carnegie Science Center officials gathered Tuesday to announce a $65 million donation, the largest ever received since its founding.
It was also announced that the museum is being renamed to the Daniel G. and Carol L. Kamen Science Center. The large donation comes from both Dan and Carol Kamen.
The gift will contribute to the Science Center's goal of connecting people and science, igniting curiosity that endures for a lifetime.
Looking for some more entertainment this weekend? Well, the post-genre organization is hosting a concert series in an Oakland church.
This organization is hoping to create a space for local artists to have concert setups with proper sound and quality.
The concert will take place February 3rd at the church on 401 Atwood. We turn to our entertainment reporter, Claire Donnellan. Claire?
Thank you, Donnie and Aaron. Good morning. For the Pittsburgh music scene, and specifically Oakland, local initiative group Post Genre is hosting a concert series out of an old church that they are revamping. I had the pleasure of interviewing some of the most pivotal members of the group and getting to know their story. And I got a sneak peek at the venue.
I'm Eli Alfieri.
My name is Adam Klenovich.
I'm Mark Riggio. Eli and I play in a local band together called Wild Blue Yonder.
I first met Mark and Eli while hosting concerts at my house. It's kind of turned into a thing where we would like to, bring it to another level with the help of Mark's equipment, and from organizations like the Pittsburgh Innovation District, we've been granted, access to this space and other spaces to host events.
We're able to spend a lot more time actually preparing and getting ready. Unlike the previous series, this space isn't being leased out and used daily. In the office spaces that we were super lucky to be able to use, it didn't give us a ton of time to really fine-tune everything.
We're really excited to be able to bring DIY setups into a space that can fit more people. It's safer.
We're also expanding the lighting and audio setup here to accommodate the larger sized space. And there's going to be a stage. Yes, there's going to be a real stage, which is going to be awesome.
Playing is kind of the backbone. All these things that I've been wanting to do have come from the place of, being super grateful to experience the Oakland music scene from a band perspective. It doesn't necessarily matter who's playing as much. There's kind of just always people who are wanting to get out and about. It's pretty much guaranteed that there's just going to be a high energy between the band and the crowd. And the main goal behind this current project is just fill this place up and prove to the people who don't know about the thriving music community here that it has a place where it should be, and the place is here.
Break a leg to all of the performers and the staff putting together this show, and I think I can speak on behalf of all the music enthusiasts that we are so excited. For Pitt to the Point, I'm entertainment reporter Claire Donnellan. Donnie, Aaron.
Thank you, Claire. I have to say, Donnie, I didn't know so many people took Groundhog Day this seriously.
Me neither, Aaron. But I mean, we aren't that far from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Maybe we should jump in on the fun.
I might have to take you up on that. Sounds like a good time. Well, the tradition of using Phil to predict the weather has been around since the 1880s. This will be the 138th year of Groundhog Day celebrations in Punxsutawney.
Statistics show that Phil is correct with his predictions about 40% of the time. Well, Aaron, what did he tell you to expect this year?
This morning at about 7:30, Phil made his appearance to the world, and he did not see his shadow. This means spring is just around the corner.
I'm definitely looking forward to that because I'm so tired of this cold weather.
I am also very, very grateful. The end of the show already? That went by pretty fast, but I don't know. It's hard to keep up with.
I know, Aaron. I had so much fun on today's show. My favorite segment was hearing about the Her Campus Club. Well, the show has flown by today, but don't worry. We'll be back next week at the same time.
I think they may have 2 new members on their hands, but we will keep you guys updated on our decision when we return.
That's right. This isn't goodbye. You can catch your favorite anchor duo here live next week and the week after that and the week after that. You don't want to miss it.
I think we've covered everything. Be sure to meet us here at the same time and place next week to hear about things from Pitt all the way to the point. Goodbye.